Hello guys, welcome back to the class. So in this class we will learn the installation of yet another penetration testing distribution. It's called the BlackArch. So BlackArch is Arch based Linux penetration testing distribution, mostly used by advanced penetration testers or security auditors. So there are so many types of operating systems in Linux, like you have Debian, you have Slackware, you have Red Hat and so on. So BlackArch is Arch based Linux operating system, particularly as such is for penetration tester. And what is Arch Linux? So Arch Linux is a Linux distribution that is based on the principle called KISS, K-I-S-S, and it stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. This KISS principle is a term coined by US Navy, and they put most of their systems at best at simple so that there will be no complicated issues. So Arch is based on KISS principle, and it was inspired by Crux and was released in year 2006, both in 32 and 64-bit architectures. So coming back to BlackArch, BlackArch contains repositories of almost 2700 tools. Yes, it is very massive number of tools that are included in or that comes with BlackArch. You know that Kali Linux has almost only 600 plus tools. However, the BlackArch has 2745 tools. That is very massive. So BlackArch is Arch based Linux distribution. So the package manager is Pacman, P-A-C-M-A-N. So what is a package manager? Package manager will assist in installing and removing the software applications. So what is a package again? A package is a pack or a bundle, or you can say an archive of compiled files of an application like your software. So that comes along with the metadata such as application name, version and dependencies. And what if I ask you what is the package manager in Kali Linux operating system? You should answer it as APT, that is Advanced Packaging Tool. I hope you remember we were installing some applications like Terminator, that is used to split the terminal, and the command used to install the Terminator was sudo apt get install terminator. So apt is Advanced Packaging Tool and the graphical version is Synaptic. So you can install Synaptic Package Manager to install some applications graphically. So let us now start downloading the BlackArch ISO file to install the operating system in our VirtualBox. In order to do so, let us open your favorite browser and type BlackArch, ARCH. So BlackArch Linux, select and hit enter. So here as you can see the first link, BlackArch Linux pen testing distribution. So click on the link whose website link is blackarch.org. So this is the website main page of blackarch.org. As you can scroll down and see about, BlackArch is an Arch based Linux penetration testing distribution for pen testers and security researchers. And as said, the repository contains 2745 tools, and you can install these tools individually or in groups. For example, if you want certain group of tools, like you want all scanning tools, or if you want all Wi-Fi related tools, you can install them as a group. And BlackArch is compatible with existing Arch installations, Arch installs. It means that there are different Arch based operating systems, like you have Manjaro, then you have Endeavor. Let me scroll down. Like I said, we have Manjaro Linux, we have then Arco Linux, then we have Arc Labs, we have Endeavor, we have Arcman and so on, Endeavor. So there are different types of Arc based Linux, and BlackArch is compatible with all these installations. It means that you can install BlackArch on the top of the above said distributions or previously said distributions. You can click on install instructions to see how to install BlackArch on the top of those distributions. Like you can run these commands and install the BlackArch tools, or you can install BlackArch on the top of that Arch Linux. But here in this class we are going to download the ISO file, which is in the download section. Click on the download link over here that you can see. This is the download link. So we are going to download the full ISO file, which is 64-bit in my case, and also BlackArch can be directly imported using OVA images that you can see over here. OVA images. So this is the BlackArch Linux 64-bit OVA image. I have already downloaded the ISO file as well as the OVA image, but I will show you the direct installation using the ISO file. As you can see over here, the OVA file is almost 25 GB and the ISO file is nearly 18 or 17 GB, I guess. As you can see here, it is 18 GB. So click on the link to download the ISO file. So nearly 2 hours left to complete the installation, but I will pause or I will cancel the download because I have already downloaded the ISO file. As you can see over here, we have a BlackArch Linux ISO file, and this is the OVA file that you can be used to directly import into your VirtualBox or VMware. In order to proceed with the installation, you have to open your VirtualBox manager. Before that, let me go back to the site once again. So it contains ISO files, and you have OVA images, and you have installation instructions on the top of Arch Linux. I want you to go through the website once before BlackArch itself, and FAQ sections, and this is the list of all the tools that are there in the BlackArch. Okay, so these are all the tools that are included in the BlackArch penetration testing distributions. Very massive amount of tools. Okay, so you have the description, version number, and so on. So if you have some amount, you can actually donate to this website, either in PayPal or in the form of a Bitcoin. So really, some people are really donating some very good amount, and everyone is anonymous. Nice. So since I have already downloaded, let me open the VirtualBox manager, and we have to create a new machine. So on the top in the VirtualBox manager right pane, so click on the new button over here, and you have to type the name of the operating system, that is BlackArch, BlackArch, ARCH, right. Now machine folder, I am going to save this machine at another place because this machine requires huge space, nearly 70 or 80 GB of data is required. So let me choose the location where actually I save all my VMs. So click on other, and this is the folder. This is a drive in E drive, and in E drive I select VMs folder. So that's where I'm going to save all my VM machines that you can see in the screen over here. So let me go back and select the VMs, select folder, and the operating system type is Linux and version is Arch Linux 64-bit. So click on the next button to continue. Memory size, and the recommended size is 2048, and again it depends upon the resources you have, that is RAM that you can allocate. In my case, I am giving 2048, that is 2 GB of RAM to this machine. Click on the next. Then you have to create a virtual hard disk. So we are going to create a virtual hard disk from the options. Click on the option number 2 and click on create button. Hard disk type is VDI, VirtualBox disk image, and click next. Dynamically allocated space, click next. And as said, we have to allocate at least 70 or 80 GB of storage space, because the operating system size that we have downloaded is 18 GB and is going to dump nearly 55 to 60 GB of data in this VDI file. So let me allocate 80 GB for the creation of this VDI file. Click on the create button, and our machine is ready. And before we start the machine, we have to do some settings. As you know, we have to mount the ISO file. In the BlackArch settings, in the general tab, under basics, advanced, I am going to change the shared clip to bidirectional, so that we can copy from host machine to a guest machine and guest to host machine. And also I'm going to change the drag and drop to bidirectional, so that I can copy files from host to guest and guest to host machines respectively. Description you can write as a BlackArch and so on. And under display, there is no changes we have to do over here. And under storage, you have to click on the disk image, again on the disk image, and click on the choose disk file, and navigate to the folder where you have saved your BlackArch ISO file. So click on the BlackArch ISO file and click on open button. Now the BlackArch ISO file is mounted to the virtual machine and to the virtual drive, and in the audio no changes are required, and in the network we have NAT as of now. That's okay. No other changes are required for this system, so we can actually click on the OK button to continue. Now click on the start button to start the virtual machine. This machine will start in a live mode. So we have started the machine and the live mode should start. Now we have a couple of options over here and we have 7 minutes to auto boot. So let me choose the first option because BlackArch because we have downloaded the ISO file and we are going to install BlackArch operating system using full ISO. We have options like BlackArch full ISO 86 and same with the speech option, boot to existing OS if any other operating system is already installed, and so on. So let me choose the option number 1 and hit enter. The operating system should start and we should log into the account in a live mode environment. As you can see, now we have to log into this live mode. And the default credentials to log into this machine are username as root and hit enter and password as BlackArch BlackArch. And this is the BlackArch Linux. We have logged into the root account of this machine and there is nothing over here, like there is no desktop, there is no recycle bin, there is no home folder and so on. So don't get too much intimidated and don't get too much confused if you don't see any icons or don't see any options. Even if I go to the machine and if I go to the full screen mode, you are not going to see anything except at right bottom corner there is a time and date in a very small font that you can hardly see. And over here you are seeing number 1. It's too small to see, and this is the screen number 1, this is screen number 2 now, screen number 3 and screen number 4 right over here. And let me go back to screen number 1, and if you right click on the mouse you are going to see the BlackArch menu. These are the terminals. This is a browser, Firefox and Chromium, network, so network settings, Wi-Fi radar and Wi-Fi radar poll kit, and these are all the categories of the tools like BlackArch anti-forensic category tools and automation tools. Then we have DOS tools, that is denial of service. Then we have so many tools, networking tools and so on. So there are almost as at 2745 tools listed in the BlackArch Linux. So before using all these tools, let me install BlackArch operating system in this machine. To the terminal, so right click on the mouse, go to the terminal and click on any one of the color that you like, gray, red, green, yellow and white. Let me choose gray. So let me bring the terminal over here. Now you have to type BlackArch, BlackArch -install. Before I hit enter to continue the installation process of this machine, let me take back you to the browser. So if we scroll down and see over here, installing from ISO, you can install BlackArch ISO packages and environment using full or net install, and for that you have to run sudo BlackArch -install. So this is the command that we have used. Since we are already in the root account, I did not type the sudo. And next thing, that there is a nice guide mentioned over here. If you need a step-by-step guide, you can always consult the BlackArch install tutorial. So if I click over here, there is a installation tutorial of this operating system in VirtualBox environment or on a physical machine. So BlackArch has given a good tutorial on the installation. You can always take the help of this page while installing the operating system on your virtual machine, or you can follow this tutorial. So let me go back to the installation process. So let me now click enter on the keyboard so that the installation of BlackArch operating system will begin on this machine. The BlackArch installer has begun, version 1.2.22. Welcome to the BlackArch installer. We have 3 installation modes available. Mode number 1, install from BlackArch repository online. We are not going to choose that. And second, install from BlackArch full ISO. Because we have downloaded, we are going to choose BlackArch installation from full ISO offline method. Hit 2 on your keyboard and hit enter. Now we have output modes, quiet and verbose. We are going to choose verbose mode, that is number 2 on the keyboard, and hit enter. Now we have environments. We have to set up the environments. We have local, and there are some locals listed. So if you want to see all the locals, hit number 2, or you can directly set the environment. So let me type 1 and hit enter. And the local environment is enus utf-8. So let me hit enter. Now we have to set up the keyboard. So set a key map. We have to set up a key map. So let me hit 1. If you want to see the list of all available key maps, select 2 and hit enter. So these are all the key maps that are available. So I'm going to select option 1, set a key map 1. So key map is US. You have to type the US and hit enter on your keyboard, and don't type in the capitals. You have to set a host name, that is type a host name for this machine. You can simply type BlackArch or BlackBaby or Blackbird or any other name that you can give to this machine. ARCH, hit enter. And now this is a hard drive setup screen, and the available hard drives for the installations are only SDA. Please choose a device. So we have only one option, that is SDA. So we are going to type SDA and hit enter. Installing BlackArch on Windows or any other OS? No, we are not installing on any other OS. So this is not a dual boot. So let me type N and hit enter. Creating partitions with CF disk. Right, we are going to create partitions manually. If you are doing partitions for first time on Linux machine, please be careful and follow this tutorial carefully, because you have to perform the partitions manually. If you do any mistake, you have to cry. There is no other option, or you have to start the process again. So let me type Y and hit enter. Start with in-memory zeroed wizard partition. Yes. People who have already knowledge on CentOS, or if you have learned some courses like Red Hat, RHC or RHEL, you will have the knowledge on the partition of the Linux disk. But the other students who are very new to the Linux environment, such students should be very careful. And the label type is DOS. And by the way, please choose arrow keys on your keyboard for the selection process of any options. Like we have 4 options in a vertical format, and I'm using up and down keys to select. And the label type is DOS and hit enter. And now we have SDA hard drive, which is 80 GB, and we have to perform a partitions on this disk. For that you have to hit enter, because we have already selected a new option over here. So in order to move from one option to another option, use right arrow key and left arrow keys. So let me go to new and hit enter. And now here you can see 80 GB is listed as a partition size. You have to remove and type 500 MB, and you have to type 500 M, not MB, maybe followed by M for MIB, megabytes, gigabytes and terabytes. So I am allocating 500 MB to the first partition, which is boot partition. Primary type, okay, hit enter again. A partition is created, that is SDA1, which is a boot partition. And now come down using a down arrow button. Now we have to create a swap partition, a Linux swap partition. So hit enter on keyboard to begin the partition of the remaining space. And now we have 79.5 GB left after allocating 500 MB to the boot partition. Now let me hit backspace on the keyboard, and I am going to give 2 GB space to the swap partition. After mentioning 2G, hit enter. Again hit enter. Now as you can see over here, we have 2 partitions, SDA1 and SDA2, which is a boot partition, and the partition type is not mentioned for the SDA2. So use a right arrow to move from quit to type. So select type over here. So select type and hit enter. Here you can see number 82, which is Linux swap. So use up arrow key and select number 82 Linux swap and hit enter. Now as you can see, the type is changed from Linux to Linux swap Solaris. Okay. Now use down arrow key and select free space and hit enter. Now we have 77.5 GB space remaining, and I'm going to use this entire 77.5 GB space for the root partition. So I'm going to hit enter. Enter. Now we have 3 partitions, SDA1, SDA2 and SDA3 on the hard drive SDA. Now I'm going to right option over here. Okay, use the right arrow key and move to the right option. Okay, right arrow and choose the right option, WRIT, right as an option, and hit enter. Are you sure you want to write partition table to disk? Yes, you have to type YES, not Y. You have to type the full 3-character word YES and hit enter. Now come back and select quit button and quit this process, because we have completed the partitioning of SDA drive. Syncing disk. Hard drive setup continues. And do you want this root drive to be encrypted? No. Now in here you have to mention the partitions. So the boot partition is /dev/sda1 and hit enter. And the file system type of this partition is ext4. Type ext4 on your keyboard and hit enter. Now the root partition is /dev/sda3, not SDA2. The root partition is SDA3, which is 77.5 GB, and hit enter. Again the file system is ext4 and now hit enter. Now you have to mention the swap partition, which is SDA2 and hit enter. Is this partition table correct? That is, boot is ext4, that is boot partition is SDA1, root is SDA3, and swap is SDA2. Yes, it is correct. And the file systems mentioned over there is also correct. So let me type Y and hit enter. Now the system is going to format the partitions. Are you sure? No crying afterwards. But if you make any mistakes over here, there is no other option. Begin the installation process from the starting. So what I did is correct. So let me type Y on my keyboard and hit enter. So creating a boot partition, creating a root partition, and creating a swap partition, that's done. And guys, this is really going to take a lot of time. I think nearly 35 to 40 minutes time will take to dump all the files from full ISO to your BlackArch.vdi file. The system says that grab a coffee and a pop shell, but seriously, coffee is not going to work over here. You can actually go for a walk, you can hang over with your friends, have a nap, eat, take a breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever time you are looking or you're taking this video. So guys, I will pause this video and I will come back when the installation is complete. I'm sure that this is going to take a lot of time, and that depends upon again the speed of your system, the RAM of the system, and as well as the writing speed of your hard drive. And please keep an eye over here if you are sitting on the system itself. Already 751 MB of data has been dumped. So it will dump nearly 50 to 60 or 65 GB of data from the ISO file. So let me pause the video and I'll resume the video when the installation is about to complete. It's been more than 30 minutes, I guess, roughly, and nearly 51.76 GB has been copied to the hard drive. That is our blackarch.vdi file, and it may take, I think, 10 or 15 minutes more. So let me pause this video again. And you can see it's completed, and we are going to now set up few user accounts, and system is setting up according to the configurations that we have made earlier. After this process is completed, we have to set up root accounts. Setting up the root account. Yes, you have to mention the password for the root account. The default password was BlackArch when you have actually booted through the live ISO, but now you have to set up password for the root account. So type a strong password. So let me type very strong password, 123456778. That's really strong, I guess. Password updated successfully. Now the system is asking whether you want to create a normal user account like generally you create on Windows machine. If you want to create a normal user account, you can type yes, else you can skip this part by hitting the no button. But for the demonstration purpose, let me show you. I'll type yes. Now the username is Kiran. Let me type Kiran as a username. and I have to mention the password. Password is again strong password 12345678. Now retype the password. Again the password updated successfully, and you have created a new account successfully. Setting up the grub bootloader now. Now the default time is UTC. If you want to change the time, you can type yes and hit enter, else you can leave as it is. So let me show you. I will type yes, and since I am from India, that is Asia, I will choose Asia Kolkata. If I scroll up using the mouse, as you can see over here, Asia, where is Asia? Asia and Kolkata. So please be careful with the spellings. Asia Kolkata, Kolkata. So choose this option or choose this time zone according to your time. I'll type ASIA / Kolkata, KOLKATA. Make sure you do not make any spelling mistakes. Hit enter. Time zone setup successfully. Unmounting the file systems. The game is over. It means you have successfully installed BlackArch Linux operating system on your machine. Yeah, no, backdooring your system now. Hack the planet, door the planet. So now you have to reboot the system. So type reboot and hit enter. Now the system is rebooting, and let me power off the system, because you have to unmount the ISO file which you have mounted earlier. Open the system is powered off. Go to the settings, select the storage, click on the BlackArch Linux full, and remove disk from the virtual drive. Click on OK button, and now start the machine again. Now we have an options over here, so select BlackArch Linux and hit enter. The system is booting, and you should be able to log in into this machine shortly using the credentials. Either you can use your personal account that if you have created, or you can use the root account. So I am using the root. Hit enter and give the password that you have mentioned earlier a while back ago, not the password that is BlackArch. And here at the left corner bottom you can see the desktop. There are different kinds of desktop. You can select Flux, OpenBox, Awesome, and so on. Spectrum is also there. Let me go with the default one. And the language type, the default language is English. So if you want to change the language, click on the more and change the language. And the keyboard type we have configured is US. So let me type the password to log into this system. Now we have successfully logged into this computer, which is BlackArch Linux penetration testing distribution. And again, let me maximize the screen to the full screen mode, and as you can see, BlackArch has not displayed anything over here. You have to left click on the mouse and use the BlackArch menu, terminals, browser. If I go to the browser and click on the Firefox browser will open. As you can see, the Firefox has opened, and if you now type something like google.com, you cannot access the internet, right? You will not be able to access the internet. Even if I type, for example, facebook.com, you will not be able to access the internet. You will encounter the same problem. So let me show you once again. If I go to the terminal and open the terminal, and let me type ping google.com. So there is an error called temporary failure in the name resolution. So you must solve this issue in order to access the internet. And if I type ifconfig, we only have a loopback address. So when we configure the system, under networking we have given the NAT as a virtual adapter to access the internet, but here you can only see the loopback address. And in order to resolve this problem, you have to enable DHCP CD service. So type the command systemctl enable DHCP, that is dynamic host configuration protocol, DHCP CD. service daemon. Okay, now hit enter on your keyboard. DHCP/CD service has been enabled. Now you have to start the service. START, so systemctl sys system ctl start start DHCP/CD. So we don't have any errors over here. So let me actually ping the Google, ping google.com, and we can see the ping replies. So let me stop this. Now if I type Firefox browser will open and I can access the internet as well. So if I click on the Facebook button, Facebook should open, Facebook main page should open. Yes, now we can successfully access the internet. And let me close this. It will see. Let me clear the screen, and if I type ifconfig again, we have another adapter which has an IP address 10.0.2.15. So let me clear this. Xrandr is a command to show the display resolution of your system. So the current resolution of my computer is my system, which is BlackArch Linux, is 1920 by 1080. If you want to change to another resolution or other display resolution, you can change using the command xrandr -s and the option that you can see over here. So the maximum that supports is 8192 by 8192. Okay, so if you want to change, this is the command xrandr -s 1024 by 768. So I am not going to hit enter over here because the display resolution, which is 1920 by 1080, is fine for this PC. So I am going to cancel this command and let me type clear over here, hit enter. Now, as said in the beginning of the class, pacman is a command or a software that can be used to update or install or remove any applications on the Arch based Linux systems. So in order to use pacman, pacman, let me go back to the browser once. So these are the commands that can be helpful for you to update the system or update or install any packages as well. So in order to update the system, pacman -syu is the command. In order to update the databases, pacman -syy is the command. And for example, if you want to install any software packages, pacman -S and the name of the package. So let us see these commands. But you cannot directly actually use the pacman. Some key related issues will be occurred, and in order to solve that, you have to remove GNU PC folder, which is there in etc folder, cd etc and pacman.d. So we are in pwd, so we are in etc folder and pacman.d. Let me list the files. ls is the command. So you have to remove this folder completely, GNU PG folder. Okay, rm-r GNU PG. So if I type ls again, you have successfully deleted the folder GNU PG, and now you have to type pacman -key --init. Now key will be generated and trusted database will be updated. Next command is pacman -key --populate, and more keys will be appended, and now you will not see any errors. So you are successfully downloading or importing another or appending another keys. Now let me install some application. Like Tunar is a file manager in Arch Linux. So let me install Tunar application, which is graphical based file manager. So let me clear the screen. Pacman capital S Tunar. Sorry, my mistake. SY Tunar. Now Tunar application is installing. Proceed with the installation. Yes. Type Y and hit enter. The installation of Tunar is now complete. Now let me clear the screen once again and type TUNAR. So as you can see, a file manager has opened. Now you can access any files. Let me go back to the root folder. So we have bin and scripts. So let me close the file manager once again. Let me show you how to update the database. Pacman minus hyphen SYY. Synchronizing the databases. This can take some time. And let me update the system as well. SYU. So BlackArch is up to date. Starting full system upgrade, and this may take some time as well. So the system upgrade may take some time. So that's it in the class, guys. Have a great day. Type Y enter and have a great day. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel INSECTECHS.